It's Monday. Welcome to the Coffee Milk Hour. I'm Puffy.
I'm Jerry.
Welcome to the show.
You're way too excited for a Monday.
I'm sorry. I'm actually really pissed off, so I'm putting myself in a happy mood so we can do the show.
Why are you really pissed off?
Because my fucking scheduling conflicts right now.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. It does.
I feel like an asshole on 8 different levels, but what can I do? Can't do anything.
You want me to play the song by Dennis Leary?
Please don't. No, that is actually my anthem, though.
Is it your
Great song, too. I love that song.
Your anthem, like Good Charlotte's anthem?
No. Good Charlotte is a terrible band. But they were pretty popular on the Madden soundtrack for a while there.
They were popular on the Madden soundtrack.
Yeah, a lot of people listened to them because we were like, oh, Good Charlotte's on the Madden soundtrack, dude? That must mean they're a good band.
Because you had to listen to them because you don't really have a choice.
They were on the same soundtrack where Chapter 4 was, whichever Madden that was, 2004, 2005?
The good one, apparently.
That was the one that had the training where you could actually train your kicker with kicking drills, and it was really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. Gronk might be affected by the Madden curse.
Why?
Apparently, they had a practice with the Bears this week, and he left the field with injuries that were undisclosed at the time.
Okay.
So, hope it's not the TMC.
It's a hangnail.
You know, I mean, I'm not a Pats fan by any
When was the last time the Madden curse was actually in effect?
Of 18 athletes that have been on the Madden cover, 17 have had disastrous seasons following their cover.
Who's the lone wolf?
Richard Sherman.
God damn it.
Which is even debatable because he had a fractured forearm for half the season after he was on the cover.
Yeah, it doesn't count, though.
He played.
Yeah, he was expected to play through it, though.
Damn right, he did.
Because he plays a non-essential position.
What?
On a non-essential team.
Screw you.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, eat dicks. Your backup quarterback plays better than your starter.
Apparently, I'm very excited about it. What are we talking about today? It's Monday. It's cloudy. It's hot. There was a thunderstorm.
There's still a thunderstorm. I haven't seen any rain, but there's thunder in the distance. It sounds like the drums of war. I'm actually pretty excited about it. But no, today we're going to talk about the prison system.
We're going to talk about the prison system Lite.
The prison system.
Lite.
Beyond the Staples Center.
So we don't want to take it too seriously because it's Monday.
We should have gotten Serge Tankian for this episode.
We could have no, because he would take it very seriously.
He's very adamant about the prison system.
He'd be screaming.
Yes.
Like he does in all the songs.
The number of incarcerated prison systems has doubled since 1985.
The number of incarcerated prison systems has doubled.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, so your words are off today, so I'll just keep that in mind.
No, the number of incarcerated
prison systems?
No. The number of incarcerated people in the prison systems.
In the prison systems?
Yes. In the prison system has doubled since 1985.
It's doubled since 1985.
Yeah.
What if that's just because our cops are way better at catching people? Like in 1985, you could be a runner and get away with it, and they'd be like, oh, well, he got away.
I don't think
no cameras couldn't capture the license plate, but now cops are like, caught you, bitch.
I think it's 1,000 infinitely more likely that it's just because we put people in jail for stupid shit. I mean, do you have on one of your special graphs there the number of people that are incarcerated on marijuana charges?
No,
because you fucking should. It's probably
it just has drug charges, but drug charges could be anything.
And they classify marijuana in that as well.
Right, but it could be use. It could be
dealing. People doing life sentences for marijuana.
Crimes. Well, yeah, I'm sure that there are some. There are 212,000 people in state prisons for drugs.
And I'm sure that at least, I would say more than half of those, if I had to bet right now without looking it up at all, that more than half of those would be marijuana related.
And there are 105,000 people in federal prisons for drug charges.
My statement, what I said just a second ago, stands true as well.
1 in 5 people who are incarcerated are incarcerated for drug-related crimes.
That's a little ridiculous. How many of those are light crimes?
Well, it depends on what's considered light. I would say that possession is light.
I mean, distribution is light.
I would say distribution is a crime.
You sold some pot. Pay a fine. Go on suspension or something.
What about you sold some heroin?
I'm not talking about heroin. I'm talking about pot. Which is bullshit because the DEA just shot down reclassifying it?
Again, it doesn't need to be reclassified to be decriminalized.
No, but I mean, it helps in the case. You know,
it does help. It helps a lot more with research, actually.
Yeah, no, definitely. But the DEA is fucking stupid.
Anyway, 1 in 5 people are incarcerated for drugs in this country. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world. Of any country.
Ooh, tell them about the graph. I like this graph.
Okay, so it's really interesting graph that I found, and we're gonna. I promise you guys, I will post this with the episode today. But it's a graph of world incarceration rates if every U.S. state and territory were a country.
Can you guys guess what number 1 is?
Until recently, Louisiana was number 1, but as of 2016, Washington, D.C. has the highest incarceration rate of any country in the world. If Washington, D.C. were its own country, it would still have the highest incarceration rate in the world. 1,196 out of every 100,000 citizens is incarcerated in D.C. Louisiana second, Georgia third, Oklahoma 4, Alabama, South Dakota, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, Missouri, Virginia.
Let me stop you right there, Virginia. Keep in mind what he said. This is if every U.S. state and country and territory were a country, but this is marked up against other countries. Top 10, top 15. We're not even at another fucking country yet. We're still in states.
Okay, so we get Virginia, Kentucky, Arkansas, Delaware, Alaska, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Wyoming, South Carolina, Nevada, the United States of America. Every state listed above the United States of America has a higher incarceration rate than the average of the country. Let's continue. Indiana, Idaho, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Ohio, West Virginia, Colorado, Michigan, Kansas, California, Illinois, Turkmenistan.
Ooh, Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan. Hello, Turkmenistan.
Good to see another fucking country on this list.
You have the second highest incarceration rate in the world behind the United States and all of our states, or many of them.
So sad.
Continuing for perspective. Maryland, Nebraska, Oregon, Montana, Iowa, North Dakota, El Salvador.
Welcome to the club, El Salvador.
Hawaii. Cuba.
Cuba!
Connecticut. Washington. Thailand.
Oh, Thailand's not that bad, though. It's just all the Thai lady boys.
New Hampshire. Well, no one's as bad as we are. The Russian Federation, right there behind New Hampshire.
Good job, New Hampshire.
New Jersey. Rwanda.
I honestly expected Jersey to be further up there.
Me too. But New York, Panama, Utah, Minnesota, Rhode Island, Maine, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Vermont, and finally Massachusetts with the lowest incarceration rate in the country.
Congratulations, you liberal bastards.
And then we got Brazil, Belarus, Bahrain, and every other country on Earth, literally.
Yeah, we're not going to go through
is
the whole
below
list.
all the U.S. states and the United States.
Which is ridiculous.
We love locking people up.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
We love it.
The prison systems needed to be reformed.
Now, because I was thinking about this earlier, I do believe that as far as like police infrastructure goes, we probably have one of the largest, well-supplied police forces in the world, giving them a higher opportunity to catch criminals. That being said, the numbers are still way disproportionate.
Yeah, you can't justify this graph with an argument of like, well, other countries don't have the means to catch bad guys. Like,
right, they do.
These are ugly numbers to look at.
These are very ugly numbers.
It's unfortunate, and it needs to be fixed. We're gonna open up a prison.
We one day we will open up a prison.
Yeah, we're gonna open up a prison.
So what we're gonna do on today's episode is we're gonna go in a different direction, and we're gonna give you some more stats as far as what the prison system looks like and how bad it is. But we thought we'd take a light note today. And we tell you how we think prisons should be run in this country.
Right. Now, these are all going to be model guidelines for when we open up our prison, of which I do not have a name yet.
Our prison, because I'm against private jail, so it would have to be a government-funded prison.
That's fine.
Hopefully Rhode Island will sign on and let us convert the ACI.
I'm sure President Nutini can make something happen.
I certainly hope so.
All right, yeah, just put me in charge.
I don't think we should call them prisons anymore.
What the hell should we call them?
I think we should call them Rehab Fun Centers.
Big boy timeout?
Big boy timeout. That worked. I think maybe you want big boy timeout inside of the fun center for when someone's naughty.
So like solitary's big boy timeout?
Yeah, but we're not going to put them in solitary. We're just going to make them watch like, I don't know.
The Reform Fun Center? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the Reform Fun Center.
We can do better.
The Rehab Fun Center.
I like it. The Rehab Fun
Rehab Fun Center. What's the most annoying TV show you can think of?
Honey Boo Boo.
No, you know what? Big Boy Timeout is just Too Many Cooks on loop for 3 hours. If you don't know what Too Many Cooks is, please YouTube Too Many Cooks.
Don't do it.
Watch the video in its entirety.
He's setting you up for failure, I promise. It is the most god-awful thing I've ever watched in my life.
That's what Big Boy Timeout will be. So, day one. You're out on the streets. You get a little mad at another drug dealer. He's encroaching on your turf. You shoot him dead on the corner. Whoops.
Whoops!
Whoop whoop. Cops show up.
Oh, boy.
Now you're in the back of the cruiser. You tried to run. You thought better, but you already killed the guy. You're not a bad person. You were just a little angry. This guy was encroaching on your territory.
You figure if you explain it to the cops, you might be able to get away with it?
So, well, I mean, you try to explain, but the cops aren't buying it, mainly because of the bleeding body on the street. So now you're in the cop car, all right? So you're on the way there. Cop turns to you, he's like, hey, bud, how's your day going?
What?
Yeah, how's your day going, man?
You just killed a guy. What cop is turning around and is being like, so, nice weather, huh?
A cop who works at the Rehab Fun Center.
Oh, God damn it.
How's your day going, buddy?
I already don't like where this is going.
What happened?
What happened?
I mean, we know you can't like divulge too many details here, but like there was a body on the corner, kind of know you did it. What's going on, dude? You having a bad day?
Now, did somebody say something to you that made you want to shoot somebody?
And then the guy will be like, I don't know, man.
Did he call you a bad name?
I don't know. He wasn't supposed to be there.
Where's your mom, little guy?
Yeah, Mama died 2005. I'm just really lonely. I'm just trying to support the family.
Like when kids lash out for attention, like by like pushing their little brother, instead this guy shoots.
And then Johnny showed up on the corner. I was like, get out of here, man. Johnny, this is mine. I'm just trying to support the family. And Johnny was like, fuck your family. And I just couldn't help it. I got so mad. I pulled out the gun and I shot him. Johnny's a dick.
Okay. All right, so...
See, he's venting now.
Okay, I get it.
He's already venting. He's already on the way to feeling better.
Is he really?
I
think
just
magically on his way to not killing anybody again?
Because then I'd be like, all right, man, you want a pack of M&Ms?
Cops have they have like a fucking Uber candy bowl.
So now that we've had a nice conversation on the way to the prison, we get him out of the car, and he's not gonna be violent on the way inside. He's not gonna be violent. He had M&Ms. He got to vent a little bit.
Oh, and chocolate releases endorphins.
Yeah. All right. So he goes inside. And it's too late now. For anything too formal. So we're like, all right, here you go, buddy. Let's call him Bradley. Here you go, Bradley. Here's your uniform. You can keep your clothes. You can wear them whenever you want. But here's your uniform. Which color would you like?
Which color would you like?
Yeah.
They have like a rainbow spectrum.
Do you want traditional pinstripe, orange, or environmentally safe green?
Wait. I need to put in a sidebar here. Were pinstripes actually a prison uniform at one point?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in the movies at least.
Yeah, in the movies, but like, were they ever actually that? I don't think so. We can implement it.
Pick a color, Bradley.
We can implement it with do they have neon green?
Well, we have environmentally safe green.
Environmentally safe green.
Yes.
What does that look like?
You want to go with that? You can't wear your clothes tonight. You can wear them tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
So we give you, and we will supply you with a teddy bear. Because we know that the first night in prison can be pretty tough. We know you killed the guy, but we're not mad at you for it. People make mistakes. Sucks for Johnny, but we can't help Johnny anymore because he's dead. But we can help you. We can help you feel better. Here's your teddy bear. Go have a good night's rest.
This is where I'm getting caught up. Why does he need to feel better? Like, he's the one who killed the dude.
Because, Jordan, it's not about punishing people and making them feel like shit and breaking them down to feel worthless. It's about making them feel better. It's about making Bradley feel better. Bradley, you never should have been in that position to kill that guy. So we're going to make sure that we here at the Rehab Fun Center do everything we can. So once you've served your sentence, whatever it may be, that you are well prepared, you're feeling good, you're happy, you've got goals in life, you're good to go. You're never going to kill Johnny on the street again.
Because Johnny's already dead.
You're not going to
kill him again.
Yeah, you're not going to kill his son either. Now, his son, unfortunately, Bradley, may come after you because of vengeance. We're going to try really hard to curb that vengeance, though. But we're here for you, Bradley.
Okay.
We're here for you. Okay, so that's just day one.
All right.
What do you think?
I don't like it.
Why?
Why the teddy bear?
Because he's going to have a really rough night.
Why does he need a uniform if he's allowed to keep his clothes? Why not like a nightie?
He'll get his clothes. Okay, we'll give him a nightie. That's fine.
No, it's too late now. He's already got a uniform. He is
a environmentally safe green nightie. How about that?
Okay, fine.
No toxic dyes or irritants, okay? Also, he went to his own room. He gets his own room.
Everybody gets their own room?
Everybody gets their own room.
That's going to be an expensive prison.
No, it's not, because we're going to lower the amount of people in the prison so that everyone can have their own room.
Okay, that's fair. Are we going to get rid of the marijuana users that are in prison? Because I'm not...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to decriminalize marijuana.
What about the people who are wrongly incarcerated?
Well, that's on the court system, and that's still on the court system. There's nothing we can do about it. If they're wrongfully imprisoned, they are so because we don't really know about it.
How many people are...
Or somebody got screwed.
Well, people are... remember we watched a documentary on that. And a lot of them get public defenders who are like, you should just, take this plea.
And they end up in jail because they can't pay the public defender, and they take the plea and they go to jail. But that's not being wrongful. That's more of a flaw of the system. But we're just talking about the Rehab Fun Center today.
I just want to point this stat out. On average, every year, there are 10,000 innocent people convicted.
Right, we don't want them taking up rooms.
Right, so...
Because these are quality rooms.
If you can convince us, if you can convince our board of reviewers the following morning that you did no wrong, we'll let you walk. It's like Canada prison, where the door's unlocked. We just ask you to come back for bedtime.
Right. Actually, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think in our prison, prisoners should have access to walk wherever they want to.
Interesting.
They'll be fenced in on the complex, but like any time of day, any time of night, they can walk wherever. They can hang out with wherever. They can go to the library. They can go get some food. They'll be treated to a breakfast buffet in the morning.
Ooh, is it a continental breakfast?
Better.
Okay, good. Because continental breakfasts are they're kind of cheap.
Waffle bar, hot oatmeal, scrambled eggs.
They have a waffle bar?
They have a waffle bar.
I don't even have a waffle bar.
Because here's the thing: these people need to realize that there's a reason to live, and what they did will not define them. And so, if we don't perpetuate a system of violence within the prison, when they get out, they won't feel such a need to be violent and maintain the lifestyle that they had before because maybe they've seen the light.
I'm not going to lie, and I respect you, but this argument sounds about as dumb as that liberal argument from that congresswoman who said something along the lines of, if an armed gunman goes into a room and sees everybody else without their weapons, he will be compelled to lay down his arms because it's human nature.
I mean, not in every case, but if that person holding the gun had been through the Rehab Fun Center, they would be compelled to lay down their arms.
The RFC is going to fix this.
Because they value other people's lives. Absolutely.
We need to have, group therapy sessions in the morning.
But only if they want to go.
No, that should be kind of like a quote highly encouraged.
Okay,
activity.
we can highly encourage a group therapy session.
Because
I will say for people who are definitely serial killers, because there's definitely serial killers.
Yeah, there's sociopaths out there.
We'll keep them locked up for a max prison sentence. I like what I believe Norway did. They have a 33-year max sentence. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep them locked up for the maximum, which I think no life sentences, no death penalty at the Rehab Fun Center. And in the time there, they will see a psychologist, and not just some, just out of school psychologist, no offense psychologist, but we will have a well-trained, well-paid psychologist who actually helps these people to deal with the mental issues that they are having.
You know what I'm thinking?
And that is that's the rehab part of the Fun Center.
I'm thinking about integrating this with the community, right? So people who go into prison, you spend so many years on the inside that when you get back into the real world, it's different. You know what I mean? I can't explain it. I've never been in prison, but you know what I mean? You spend 20 years on the inside, you come outside, you don't know how to deal with people who aren't other prisoners and inmates. Here's what we do. We take half of the complex, and we put bars everywhere, right? And we give these guys jobs, right? So we make like a kiosk mall.
But we're going to pay a minimum wage.
Why? They're in prison. Everything is paid for. Food, water, shelter.
But we're going to pay a minimum wage.
Why?
Because they need money when they get out.
Okay, but now that's double the funding. Well, actually, you know what?
It's just minimum. It's just minimum wage. We're not paying them
$7.25, and all they do is they walk from their cell and they go in through a back door that can only be accessed by them, and they stand in the kiosk and they sell people their stuff, and the people give them the money. They put it in the register. At the end of every day, the guards come by, they check the cash and whatnot, make sure nobody's stealing. Stealing is wrong, Tommy.
Stealing is wrong.
Every time with him, his cash register is always $250 light, but. Is that not a good idea? Because you can have people doing, customer service and talking with people who aren't crazy prisoner people? I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. I'm not really good at this.
What do you mean? No, you're doing fine.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, we're giving them jobs. This is good.
Okay, yeah.
They're going to make minimum wage. They're going to have a job. They're going to feel like they have a purpose. They're going to make money. So when they get out back in the real world, they've got money in the bank. So guess what?
Yeah,
they can be productive members of society.
If you've got a 20-year sentence, even if you're making only $7.25 an hour, when you get out, you still got a pretty penny saved up.
I think the other thing that you want to do is for your non-violent offenders, maybe even some minorly violent offenders, put them out in the community doing community work.
Wait, what describes minorly violent? If you hit somebody in the face with a brick just because you wanted to, maybe he shouldn't be out in the community.
No. But if you're there for, I hate to say it because but like domestic assault.
Oh, be careful.
But like treading water. Not like you're violent, but like you're not. If you've been shown to have signs where like you're not going to like kill somebody or snap, like there's nothing like mentally wrong with you.
There needs to be
like you've got an anger problem.
There needs to be a clear indicator that there is not a history or pattern of violence.
Right. You let those people go out into the community, and you allow them to say work in a soup kitchen or do some trash cleanup, or if somebody needs help with a big project, you can have these guys go help out, and that will help them to engage with their community, meet new people, open new paths through the Rehab Fun Center.
Do we have a mascot?
We don't, but along the lines of mascots, every Sunday I think all grandmothers who want to can show up to the prison with fresh baked cookies, and then prisoners can sit down with the grandmothers and eat the cookies, and they can hear the stories of the grandmothers and how they grew up, and then they can be connecting with the elderly and giving the grandmothers something to do, some people to talk to.
I love how you're just Sunday. Like blanketing that like grandmothers are like super bored every Sunday. Like all of them
a lot of
synchronized in their house, like reading a book, looking up at their clock. Going back to the next page. All of them in unison.
Not all of them, but I mean, if there were an army of grandmothers that would like to come to the prison and eat cookies, then they absolutely should. I think that would be fantastic.
Conjugal visits. Here's the thing. Why don't we just co-ed up all the prisons? Are you more likely to stab somebody if you're getting laid every night? Probably not.
No. Here's the way I see it. Like, if you have a girlfriend on the outside, she can come in 3 times a week.
3 times a week? That's it?
Okay. However much you want.
Ooh, up to 5 times a week based on good behavior.
Based on good behavior.
Booyah.
There you go.
See, this is easy. I don't know why we have this problem.
No prostitutes.
No, prostitutes are probably already in prison. Do prostitutes still get arrested anymore?
Yeah, they do.
Because I watched like 14 seasons of Law and Order, man, and they always just use them for information and let them go.
That's because they're vulnerable, and cops don't give a fuck.
Cops really don't give a fuck about prostitutes. It's kind of actually bad. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, prostitution is illegal, though I don't think it should be. But that's a completely separate argument. But, like, you basically get your information and you're like, alright, go back down this dark alleyway at 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't really care what happens to you at this point. Probably going to be tagging your body later this morning.
Yeah, we get you covered, but not really. Like, we're not going out there.
We need to protect, protect and serve. That's what it's all about. But that's a cop argument, not a prison argument. What else you got? Anything else interesting?
Well, I want to know what we're going to do about the youths, because there are currently 34,000 youths in the youth prison system. However,
like juvie?
Yeah.
Oh.
However, 5,200 youths are currently serving time in adult prisons, and over 20,000 are being held in residential facilities.
Usually when children are tried as adults, the crime is pretty fucking heinous and justified.
But still, that's 59,200 youths in this country who are incarcerated in one form or the other.
They can't even enlist in the military.
They can't.
You can't even buy a pack of cigarettes and you're behind bars.
And there's 60,000 of them.
That's fucking crazy,
There's a Bristol plus Warren of all youths in jail right now.
Holy shit.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yep.
Wow, man. We gotta fix that.
Right. So these youths are serving time. They need
after school programs.
A juvie fund rehab program.
They need after school programs. All right.
But they need to be given the resources to do those things. Like, if they want to play an instrument, they need to be given the resources to get an instrument.
Absolutely. And then,
or if they want to play sports, they need the money for the equipment.
I know that this is like a prison reform episode, but like let's talk about it before these kids even end up in prison. Most of the kids who go out and do stupid shit and get in trouble, like me when I was a kid, was because we didn't really have anything available to us, like, as kids. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to practice an instrument. Well, this instrument's fucking expensive. Can't afford that. Alright, that's cool. I want to play this sport. Can't afford the equipment for it. Alright, that's cool. I want to do this. Our school cut the funding for it.
Right.
How many schools don't have after-school programs, or, like, don't have, like, band or chorus or shit like that because, like, they just don't find the arts to be that important? I get it. On an academic level, it probably doesn't take as much of a precedence, but these are the same things that kids are doing after school, as opposed to, like, sitting around so bored that they're like, fuck it, let's go through a brick through a window.
I found it interesting. I watched Michael Moore's documentary, Where to Invade Next, and in it, he went to Norway and he checked out their prison system. And I thought it was very interesting that, and a lot of the ideas I'm talking about were described in that movie. They all have their own rooms, 33-year max sentence. But the activities they're allowed to do there, they have a professional grade recording studio in prison.
That's awesome.
They have a metalworking shop. They have, like, they can go pick up a guitar if they want to. They have a full library where people just go in and they just read or write. And, like, they can cook. They can all cook their own meals. There are guys there for murder, and they've got huge fucking steak knives at their disposal. They're not going to use them.
I mean, they might.
But they don't, because it's a rehab facility. They are rehabbing these people.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
So,
I'm also a little disgusted that Norway's prison apparently has better extracurricular activities than some schools do.
Well, they do. And the thing is, but, like, what are they rehabbing these prisoners in Norway with? Art. Mm-hmm. Art.
Yeah.
Things that we are cutting from our schools, they are rehabbing their prisoners with. Maybe
successfully.
Because people need artistic outlets. I'm not saying that everybody's an artist. I'm saying that, like, most people enjoy music. Most people enjoy some sort of craft.
The average
whatever
human,
it might be.
The average human is an artist. We all have the capacity to create. It's just finding the right outlet for that. But when your resources are taken away from you, of course you're going to feel like you don't have that capability.
Now, Norway is a very different country than here, and we have some inner cities that are grotesque as far as level of education and crime and things like that. And beyond that, those people probably need more than the Rehab Fun Center.
Right.
At this point,
the Rehab Fun Center is a good start. It's more an idea of things we could be doing that would cost us less money, that would actually improve the quality of life of people who make poor decisions. It would... I don't know, man. I'm really hung up on this whole, like, false incarcerations and marijuana possession incarcerations deal. Like, it's...
In state prisons, there are 142,000 people incarcerated for burglary. Just burglary. For robbery. That burglary is nonviolent. Robbery, violent robbery, we've got 185,000, 169,000 rapists, 18,000 people convicted of manslaughter, 169,000 for murder, and 135,000 for assault. That's a little bit strange that there's more people in there for murder than assault. Anyway,
why is that strange?
So there are violent crime. There is violent crime, and those people probably need to be incarcerated.
Right.
But when we're talking about nonviolent burglary, drug charges, public disorder charges, DUI charges, depending on... Well, that would be just a DUI, or else it would fall under the category of manslaughter or murder. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about people just driving under the influence.
Like, these people need rehab.
These people need rehab. You can cut down those numbers for a thing. Why are people stealing? Because they enjoy it? Probably not. Probably because either desperation or they need money. They need to rehab their social circumstance.
Those four statistics, those four non-violent ones that you picked up, those right there add up to almost 1 million people.
Correct.
It's over 500,000.
And that's just in state prisons. That's not... Now, in federal prison, there are 105,000 people in federal prisons for drug charges. Now, those are probably more serious drug charges since you're serving in a federal prison. Probably less of your basic marijuana usage and more of your distribution, I would guess. But I imagine you could cut down from that 105,000 there. In local jails, in just local... your local area, your town jails, your district jails. Again, theft, property, 48,000. Public order, 59,000. There's another 115,000 non-convicted. 115,000 non-convicted people are in jail right now for drug use.
That's ridiculous.
142,000 non-convicted people are in jail right now for violent crimes. And another 112,000 are in jail right now for property crimes. So that's things like theft. So the more people we get out of the system, hopefully, the faster the process is, so that we don't have such a large number of non-convicted people sitting in prison awaiting trial. If you can move them, if you move them along quickly, they're either going to go into jail because they've been convicted, or released back to the public where they don't need to be supported by taxpayer dollars anymore. And then once you get to jail, we need to make these people functioning members of society. A, by treating them like human beings with some level of dignity. B, by not promoting a culture of violence and crime within the prison.
Well, there's so much more that needs to change with that as well. I mean, how many convicted prisoners can't vote in their state when they get out?
That's a totally separate issue, but no.
But it goes back to it. Like, if you go to prison and you're already bitter about what's happening to you, especially if it's something petty like, drug possession, let's say, and nothing further, not like intent to distribute or anything like that, and you get out, and you can't vote, like, you can't have one of your basic rights as a countryman, you're going to be more mad. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many people in the prison system who know that when they get out, they're not going to have the opportunity to fix their life.
And the punishment doesn't fit the crime. You've already served your time. Why should you also forfeit your right to vote because you were a convicted felon at one point?
Right, and that's just one example. Like, all right, let's say you get busted for having, like, a gram of weed on you, right? And you're charged, you're convicted, it's now on your record. You try to go get a job. Good luck.
Well, and that's something else, too. You know, in the background checks, you know, it's kind of a gray area, but in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law or by a jury of your peers. But also, once you finish the punishment, once you serve your time, it's absolved. It's supposed to be absolved. It's not supposed to affect you for the rest of your life.
Right, it's not supposed to be a shadow.
It's not supposed to be a shadow. So, so if you've committed a crime and you go to jail and you serve the time that's been given to you by the court, a judge, or a jury of your peers, welcome back, man. Clean slate.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it should be. Now, it's going to be on a record somewhere, but you shouldn't have to pay for it every single day. Mm-hmm. And it should not be legal, in my opinion, for an employer to discriminate based on criminal time served.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree entirely. I think it obviously varies based on the crime, and that the problem is that it's more of a blanket thing than anything else. But, like, all right, my personal opinion is pretty simple. There are bad people in the world. There are always going to be bad people in the world who do bad things because they want to, because they have the capacity to. But, like, by and large, like, overwhelming majority are just good people who, like, make stupid decisions. You know what I mean? And, like, it's not fair to these people who either made a bad choice, and look at, I mean, if you go into the numbers, I'm sure you can find a very clear path of evidence that leads to things like, why did he do this? Well, what was his education like? Poor. What was his job opportunities like because of his education? Worse. You know what I mean? Like, where did he grow up? What's the job system like there? There are so many things on the outside that are so bad right now that they cause this inside, this source that we're talking about, to look so grim. And I think when a lot of people think prison reform, they focus on one or two things like, oh, marijuana possession shouldn't be chargeable. Okay, fine, but what about everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, if you are in a relationship right now with your significant other, and you each own your individual cars, like your names are on the title or on the lien to the bank or whatever, but not on each other's, and you get into a fight, and you drive off in their car, and they call the cops on you, congratulations, you just committed theft of a vehicle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that's broken, because that can ruin somebody's life. Like, you get pulled over and you're like, man, I just needed to get out of there, like, I was mad and I just needed to deviate. And she's like, well, you got, you know, there's a warrant out for you for stealing the car. So, now what?
Right.
Like, the whole thing suddenly changes. Like, there's so many things that need to be fixed before we can even look at, like the core problems within the prison system. You know what I mean? You gotta fix the outside before you can fix the inside.
I agree. The last thing I want to point out, and I don't think this even needs a conversation, I'm just going to let the facts, and they are facts, by the way, speak for themselves. There is a racial element to the prison system that is absolutely broken. Absolutely broken. 64% of the U.S. population is white. 64% of the total population. Whites make up 40% of the total prison population. There are 16% Latino population in the U.S. They make up 19% of the prison population, so about the same.
Yeah.
There are 13% black people in the United States, black population, yet they make up 40% of the entire prison population, more than whites or Hispanics. And then finally, Native Americans make up about 1% of the population, and about 1% of them are in jail. They are, proportionally reflected in the prison system. Blacks get a bad rap.
Yep.
They do. They are unjustifiably or more easily incarcerated than any other population in this country. And so, again, I'm going to post these stats up online, but I think that one just speaks for itself. Also, kind of shocked, only 1% of the U.S. population is Native American. That's wrong. Got to bring back the Native Americans.
You can't say that as a white guy. You can't. I'm sorry.
I just want to.
No,
though.
I agree.
I just want to do
that
it.
goes into like what was done to them, and you're opening up yourself for SJWs to come at you.
Okay, well, tribes out there, I respect you, and if you guys want to like culturally explode, I'm for it.
Yeah, I'm totally for it too. You ever see the video of the anti-immigration guys like trying to deport people, and then the Native American guy comes up and he starts yelling at them because like they were yelling at him. I think if I remember the video right, they thought he might have been of Latino descent because he has darker skin, and then he turns around and he was like, "My family was born here. Can yours say the same? You go home." And it was just really powerful. It was a really good video. If you come back at us with an argument in regards to the white population in the prison system and the black population in the prison system, and you do anything to try to refute this fact, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to chew you out, because you can't argue with this.
It's a fact. And again, I'm going to post our source here, but it's a fact.
So don't try, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of fielding the stupidity. Like, go back to your little corner with your buddies who think that nothing is wrong and that there isn't a problem with systematic racism in this country. Cool?
Cool.
All right. Well, this has been the Monday episode. Be sure to Google in about 10 years the Rehab Fun Center, because it's going to be a thing.
It is.
We're going to make that happen.
Absolutely.
It could be a pool. You could be like rewarded with like
there definitely be a pool
and desserts.
We could go on forever.
There's so many ideas. I have so many ideas. Anyway, we'll see you guys Wednesday.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.